So the Supreme Court said that the Biden administration can keep censoring conservatives. This is The Brink. And folks, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like me and you like what we do here. And if you love it, you can also become a Daily Caller Patriot. This is also for all you haters out there, so take advantage of it. So they keep telling us that we have a conservative Supreme Court, but I'm just like, where? Okay, because the High Court ruled last week that the Biden administration can keep on censoring conservatives in the case of Missouri versus Biden. So while the Supreme Court will hear the case, which is, it's great news, it's huge because it challenges the Biden administration's communications with social media companies to censor speech, the court also ruled that for now, a lower court order that basically said, no, the Biden administration can't talk to social media companies is paused. It's put on pause. And only 3 of the so-called 6 conservative justices dissented, okay? It was Alito, Gorsuch, Thomas, okay? So basically what the other 6 justices decided was that even though other courts have found that the Biden administration is very well censoring conservatives, okay, trying to control what information that we can, read, watch, hear, listen to, and violating our First Amendment right, we should just let them continue doing it until the Supreme Court can make a final decision about whether or not they're actually doing it like the lower court said they were. Conservatives my ass, okay? And speaking of conservatives, so you know how we always sound the alarm like, hey, the migrants are putting a strain on taxpayer-funded systems, or like, hey, it's not fair, or like, hey, can you secure the border? And people are like, oh, racism, right? So if you're an illegal immigrant in Illinois over the age of 65, the state was paying for your health care. And it has been this way since 2020. And the state estimated that it would cost about $1.8 million. This is according to the Center Square. Then in 2022, the state decided they were going to lower the age and said that illegal immigrants 42 and over could also get free health care. Then legislators said that the 2024 fiscal year cost projections were nearly $1 billion. $1 billion for people who aren't even citizens. Okay, this is according to the Center Square. So the governor, Pritzker, he suspended the program for non-citizens over the age of 42 and said that the program would stop taking new enrollees altogether if they reached a certain capacity. And get ready for this. They reach capacity. What else did they think was going to happen? You offer free healthcare to illegal migrants who haven't paid into the system, and then the system gets overwhelmed. It's like, who would have thought? How could that be possible, right? Illinois taxpayers are paying nearly $1 billion so that people who hop the border illegally can get free health care. It's bullshit. Because there are Illinois residents who either go without health care or they still struggle to pay those out-of-pocket costs, right? But make no mistake, at the end of the day, the state will take out of their paychecks so that these struggling people can make sure that someone who doesn't belong here, came here illegally, gets to be taken care of. Now, you know how we've all seen those countless videos of pro-Palestinian protesters out and about? Lots of, non-white people.
But we know that the real terrorist is the Israeli state that has been murdering, massacring.
Well, it turns out that apparently white supremacists are actually the real threat to Jews in America right now, right? Not the Muslims in the streets calling for Jewish genocide, right? Not all the Muslims that we saw in Times Square, putting up the middle fingers, with pictures of Hitler, right? Yeah, so the ADL tweeted that white supremacists, quote, continue to rail against Israel and the Jewish community, gathering in cities nationwide to promote their racist, anti-Semitic propaganda. Now look, there are instances of that, okay? But are we not seeing the same stuff? Because it feels like I'm seeing more of these pro-Palestinian, non-white people wanting to kill Jews, okay, calling for Jewish genocide. And yet the ADL is concerned about some white supremacist? I'm just so confused. You could be outraged about both, that's great, but at least acknowledge with more oomph and emphasis the fact that there are people in the streets of Manhattan calling for Jewish people to be wiped off the face of the earth. And they don't look like white supremacists to me. I mean, look, maybe we're watching different news, right? Jonathan Greenblatt is too busy watching MSNBC, which is focusing on, the fact that apparently Israel was somehow at fault for this. If you guys watched the initial coverage of the Hamas attacks on Israel, there were people on MSNBC on Saturday and Sunday, October 7th and 8th, literally like, well, we gotta really give some context. What kind of context do you need when innocent people are being slaughtered by people who want to eradicate Jews? It's like, what context do you need for kidnapping Holocaust survivors? Like, I'm just curious, I guess. I don't know. Folks, more tomorrow on The Brink.